Hello. Oh my gosh, I think we are live. Happy New Year. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live stream. I'm actually going to do something real quick. It might cut me off for a second, but I realize my internet is not a good one. So one second. Let me know that you can hear me. We're back. I believe we're all good. I'm seeing comments coming through. Yay! Welcome everyone to this live stream where I'm going to be sharing about what I see for healers in 2024 and beyond. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things. I'm first of all going to talk about what is a healer. Like, let's just from the very beginning get clear on what a healer actually is. Because I bet you that it's something, not, I want to say completely different, but just something more expanded than what you might have in mind. So that's the first thing that we're going to talk about is what exactly is a healer. Then I'm going to talk about the three main things that I see with regards to, we'll call it kind of like trends and how things are evolving. I've been in this, I don't know, we'll call it industry for seven years now. And I've seen a lot of shifts and changes, and I also see an evolution that is happening. So I want to share that with you all today because it's the new year, because it's the beginning of 2024. Who here, let me know right now in the comments if you're claiming 2024 to be your year. Let me know. Let me know if that is you. Say yes, give me an emoji, shout out, whatever you want to say. That 2024 is going to be an incredible year for all of us. I'm just going to claim that now for all of us, but let me know. Let me know what you guys are claiming it for yourselves as well. And we're going to cover these three main things, okay? These three main things that I see for healers that has to do with your calling, specifically like your purpose, your calling, who you're here to be. It has to do with your intuitive abilities, and it also has to do with the opportunities that are flowing in, that will be arriving, that are going to be expanding, that are going to be showing up this year for us to claim. So these are the different areas that we're going to dive in. And as always, if you're joining me live, I am happy to answer any questions along the way. But this is what we are talking about today. And I'm so excited. I think this is one of the best ways that we can start off the year. Okay, let me say hello to everyone real quick. And by the way, if you're watching me on the recording, you can say hi in the comments below. I know you don't have the live chat thing, but you can say hi in the comments below. Let me know that you're tuning in. Let me know how you're feeling for, this fresh start 2024 and all of that good stuff. So let me see. Hello, Karen. Yay. The base maniac Riley. I love that you're here. Bob, Monkey, yay. Okay, good. You guys can hear me. Good. Lisa, DeLacy, Karen. I think, did I say hi to you, Karen? Yes, I did. Okay. Margaret, Willow, Kate, Jenny, Demi. Oh my gosh, so many people. I'm so excited for you all. Okay. I see you all. Hello. Natalie saying this year and all my remaining years. Yes, claim it. I'm claiming 2024 as my most wonderful year yet. Yes, claim that. I love it. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I feel like that's the first step to any of this, right? We got to claim it. We got to own it. We got to declare it. And when we declare it, in a chat or out loud to someone or just between you and the divine even, but like claiming it and owning it, that's the first step. So I just love that you guys are doing that, and we're just amplifying the energy now for each other. So yeah, I love this. How do I know if I'm meant to be a healer or not? I love, Gabrielle, I love that you asked this question so much, because I'm going to answer that for you in today's live stream. So thank you so much for bringing that forward, because yes, you will see the answer is going to come through. Yay. Okay. Claiming it. Awesome. Year of possibilities. Absolutely. Okay. So let's dive in to the first part of this conversation that I wanted to bring in, and that directly ties to this amazing question that came through. How do I know if I'm meant to be a healer or not? So let's first of all define healer. And I've shared this before in the past, and I'll share it again in case this is new to all of you. But for me, when I first got into the world of spirituality and energy healing and discovering what a healer actually is and discovering that we can channel and connect with energies and all that, which was back in 2015, 2016, was when I first awakened and started to open up to all of that. I I thought that a healer was the traditional kind of definition or the traditional viewpoint as someone who is doing like hands-on energy healing, right? Like that was my thing. Like if you're a healer, you're like working hands-on with people and you're like putting your hands on people and it's just like you're transmitting energy healing in this way. That was what I thought. And I'm not wrong. I wasn't wrong to be thinking that. However, over the years, what I've realized is that a healer is much more than just that, like, I don't know, stereotypical, I guess we could say, definition or what the first thing is that comes to mind. And over the years, what I became aware of and what I recognized is that the true definition of a healer is someone who transmutes or transforms energy. Now, the way in which we transmute or transform energy, there's a whole bunch of different ways that that can happen. It's not just, even though this is one way that we can do it. And I know that a lot of you who are on this path or who have had experiences with working with energy in some way have some sort of connection or notion of it being along the lines of, calling on the archangels, for example, which is a huge way that I teach and the way that I do this energy healing work is bringing in the angels, calling them in, bringing in angelic frequencies, and supporting the transmutation of energy that way. However, that is not the only way, and that is not the only way that I do it either. When you think about the transformation of energy, when you think about how energy goes from one form to another, think about what the last time that you listened to a song that made you feel a certain way. Just think about that for a second. When was the last time and what was the song? If you want to share it in the chat, if you remember, if it pops up in your head, listening to a song that just made you feel and whether it made you feel sad or it made you feel happy, it made you feel excited, it made you feel like maybe you were driving your car and you started singing because you felt the music and you were in it and it got you motivated, it got you excited, right? Like you were listening to that song and it made you feel that way. That right there is a form of healing that comes through. And especially for those of you who, if you're going through stuff and you lean into music to help you to move through the energy, that is a form of healing. So the musician, the singer, that is their healing potential, their healing frequencies that are coming through in that specific form. Here's another one. Think about the last time that you read a book that also provoked a feeling inside of you, where you read whatever the author was sharing and you felt emotional on a deep level inside of you, like you felt connected to it, or you were moved by the words, you were moved by what they were sharing with you, and you were like, whoa. Or maybe you had one of those like mind-blowing moments where you're like, whoa, that just like totally blew my mind what that person just wrote in this book. And that right there, through their words, that is another way of transforming energy. They just transformed that energy. They supported you with that transformation of energy within yourself. The same way when you heard that YouTube video or you went to see someone speaking, a speaker, up on the stage, you were in the audience and they said something and it could have been just a simple few words that really landed in your heart and you're like, whoa, that was powerful. I needed to hear that. When was the last time you heard someone say something and you're like, man, I needed to hear that? That right there is another example of healing energy of that person whoever, the speaker, the writer, whatever, them being in their healer frequency and supporting the transmutation of energy. That's what a healer is. So with that, Okay, actually, before I go into what I want to say next, they're like, another example. Okay, let's share another example. The angels are like, no, we're not done here. Okay, so another example, okay, let's bring it back to like everyday life, is when you were with your friend, your significant other, your brother, your sister, your child, your whoever, right? Someone who's close to you in your life, and they were going through a really hard time and they lean into you and you were there for them. Whether you held them and just hugged them, whether you offered some advice, whether you spoke to them and said, "Hey, listen, like you're going to be okay. You're going to get through this. You're, whatever. Whatever it is that conversation was where you held space for them, that right there is you tapping into your healing frequency, your healer potential to hold the space for someone so that they could move through, transform the energy. So a healer is someone who holds space for the transformation of energy to occur. And for some, it'll look like more of the traditional path of, having a business, creating services. I'm going to channel energy for you. I'm going to support you with these different types of frequencies, Reiki, angelic frequencies, whatever else, kind of that type of thing, which for a lot of people, that's what they're called to do. And for others, it might not be that. For others, it might not be like, yeah, I have no desire to like do sessions and do that kind of thing. I just want to write, or I just want to speak, or I just want to make music, or I just want to do art. Oh, that was another example that I didn't share, right? Like, have you ever looked at a piece of artwork and you're like, whoa, like you felt something or you felt connected to it in some way? Another example right there. So the artist is the one who is being the healer in that moment, that healer frequency, and supporting the transmutation of energy within someone else. And that's the key thing to see here, because and you may have seen quotes like this. I know that I've seen a bunch of different, iterations of this quote on Instagram and online and whatever, that say something along the lines of, a healer is someone who awakens the healing frequency or the healing potential within you, right? Like I'm here to support and hold the space, but what's actually happening, it's all you. It's your energy. It's awakening that inside of you to be able to then allow in, let's say, angelic frequencies into your space to support the transformation, right? But at the end of the day, it's coming back to understanding that we all hold a healer frequency. We all hold that inside of us. And the reason why I know that is because if you think about the idea that we all come from the divine source, right? We're going to take it all the way back. So think of God, source, the divine, however you want to call it, right? That I always see it as this big ball of energy, a big ball of beautiful divine light, pure love. And that we as souls are all extensions of that. I see it as like these extensions coming out of this big ball of light that represents source, the divine, God, the creator, etc. We are extensions from that. And if you think about the fact that source energy, that divine presence, that love, that pure love is what heals all, and then we were made from that love, we are extensions of that love. That means that we hold that ability to transform energy, to transmute it. We all hold that within ourselves. The difference is that we all then have our individual callings and our individual purposes and our individual ways of expression that will be unique and individual for each person, which means that the way that I bring forward healing energy and the way that I express my healer identity or my healer frequency is going to be different from Lisa. It's going to be different from Bob. It's going to be different from Eric. It's going to be different from Willow. It's going to be different from everybody, like I'm just randomly picking out names that I see in the chat right now, but it's going to be different. And not like no single one of us is better or worse or whatever. It's all just our unique way of bringing that forward. And so a big shift that I see in terms of, and now we're going to get into this and I'm going to catch up in the chat in a little bit, but The first one, we're just going to dive right in because this is where we're going, which I talked about the evolution of our soul's calling, the evolution of our purpose, the evolution of who we are. It's going to be much more in our face and much more of this big push towards us claiming who we are. And in that, as a part of that, every single one of you is a healer within you. And the simple difference is that the way that it's meant to be expressed in the world is going to look different between each and every single one of you. And that's beautiful. That's exactly how it's meant to be. That's exactly how God wanted it to be. But we all hold that. We all hold that same frequency, that energy of healer. So the first step here that I want you to sit with and think about and just kind of like, I don't know, marinate in it for a second is this idea, especially if you're someone who is like, am I a healer? Like, I don't know if I'm a healer. I know that probably this is my guess. Okay. This is my, whether you're live or you're watching me on the replay, 50% of you are like, yeah, I already know that I'm a healer. I know that I have this calling. I'm in it. Like, yes, this is where I'm going. This is what I desire to do. Like you already know. And then the other 50% of you are like, I don't know. I'm not really sure. Like, I don't know. Like maybe, maybe not, I'm kind of still figuring it out, whatever. Right. And so regardless of where you're at, but especially for those of you who are like, I don't know, maybe, I want you to practice or just feel into this idea of saying, yeah, I am a healer. I do transform energy. I hold the frequency of divine love inside of me, right? Because you are directly connected to source. You are directly connected to God, to divine love. That's where you came from. That's what you're made from. So you hold that inside of you. So you hold the ability and the potential to transform energy from one form to another. And so just sitting with that. And then from there, right? So we remove the expectation or the idea that it has to be the certain way. We remove the idea that it has to be in this specific form, the stereotypical way, potentially, right? Like what I said at the beginning, what I used to think was only a healer, only if you're doing hands-on stuff, or only if you're, specifically channeling energy. And yes, I started off my business in that traditional sense, and now I've realized throughout the years how much more expansive it actually is. And through my work, I have called forward people to show up in that potential, realizing that there's so much more to what it means to be a healer. So for those of you who are in that 50% of like, I don't know, maybe I'm not, still figuring it out. I want you to just play with the idea of saying, yes, okay, I am a healer. I hold that frequency of divine light and love. I come from divine love. Therefore, I have the potential and hold the frequency of being able to transmute energy from one form to the other through whatever means. And you might not know yet what means that is. Maybe it's through the word that you speak. Maybe it's through your writing. Maybe it's through your artistic talents. Maybe it's through the music, whatever. Like that part it's fine. It's a detail that can be figured out. But the main thing is that you identify with that energy of healer in the way that I defined it previously. So if that is you, let me know if how that lands for you. Okay, I'm seeing that. Please check your mic. Sound is breaking up. Let me see. Sound is fine. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me or if I'm being interrupted. Let me know where we're at right now before we continue. Sound is good on my end. Okay, vid and sound are good to go. Okay, cool. So then it might be if it's on someone else's, like whoever might be having issues, then it might be your internet connection. But okay, good. Okay, good. Yay. Thank you guys for confirming. I logged off and logged back in and it's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. Like sometimes technology is just crazy. So okay, so let me know. Okay, now we're good with that. You're okay, you glitched a moment. Okay. Let me know how that lands with you, what I just said. Okay, what I just said about taking on this idea of, okay, I am a healer. I transform energy. And by the way, for those of you who are in that other 50% that I talked about, who are like, yes, I am a healer. I already know. I already decided, like, this is who I am. I want you to now explore the expansiveness. Like, if you had an idea of you as a healer in this specific way, like, okay, I'm going to do it through like Reiki, for example, right? Or through angelic frequencies or through whatever way that I want to channel energy. Now I want you to take the same idea, for those of you who already decided, have heard, already know that you are a healer. And I want you to just sit with and explore and ask the question, kind of like we'll call it a prayer. It's like a prayer to invite in the divine to reveal to you the other ways in which you bring in healing. That's not specifically only when you are sitting in channeling or when you're sitting in a session with a client and you're like bringing in whatever energy frequencies, but in what other ways are you activating or connected to your healer identity, your healer frequency in other ways? So think about that in the context of your personal relationships, in the context of your career or business. Think about that in the context of the relationship with your own self. So think about that and feel into that and let me know what comes up for you. Okay, I'm going to quickly, as you guys are thinking about that and feeling into it, I'm just going to quickly scan the comments and make sure um let me see. I'm going to see if there's any other questions that came through and I'm just going to read what you guys are saying. Using sound tools in my voice. I love that. Yes, getting into sound healing. Yes. Yes, I love that. Um, I love that. The song that calms you down. Willow Love. Thank you for sharing. Um, a book. I love that. The Way of Integrity. That sounds interesting. Oh my gosh, I love this. I've set the intention that whenever I sing at karaoke, I send a healing energy. Ah, I love that. Yes, through your voice. Your voice. Healing art, your angel oracle deck. Yes. How could I forget to even say that? Yes. Thank you for sharing that and mentioning that. Absolutely. 1,000%. When you guys get the card deck, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. It will be well worth the wait. I know that we are like delayed, which was out of my control, but it's coming. It's coming. We're so close. It's like this, when you're in that like the last home stretch, that like when you're like, oh my God, I can't can't wait any longer. I'm gonna explode if I have to wait any longer. Yeah, our patience. We are being patient, but they're on their way. Okay. Let me see. Let me keep scrolling. Let me see. Okay. Do. I paint clouds. Oh my gosh, I love that. I had to go off grid with others as I did find joy in helping others, but there was no return. I found as I tried to become social again, it is still the same. Clouds of transformation. Okay. As soon as I knew that Jesus or Yeshua wasn't the only healer to exist, I knew I'm a healer too. Yes. Oh, that's so good. I love that so much. Okay. I'm still not sure if it's my soul's mission to be a healer. I draw people at events and I think it's okay. So, yeah, so Gabrielle, so with that, I feel like when it comes to your soul's mission, and I love that you're bringing this forward. This is so perfect. When when you think about your soul's mission and the greater kind of like impact, the greater kind of like legacy or how you're meant to be of service to other people or all of that, here's what I know to be true is that when we follow what calls to us or what inspires us or what helps our soul feel the most expressed or coming alive, then the actual mission or the impact, the legacy, all of that, it's going to naturally reveal itself to you. It's going to naturally be shown to you. And it won't feel like something where you're like, okay, like something external tells you like this is the thing. And so then then you pursue it. It's going to feel internal. It's going to feel like it's something from inside of you. And if it hasn't been revealed yet to you, then that's okay. It just means that you're continuing to walk the path. And as long as you continue to connect with what you are interested in or what feels good to you, like what your truth is in this moment. So let's say, for example, you're here. So I'm gonna guess that you have an interest in angels and you have an interest in spirituality and you have an interest in connection, spiritual connection as a whole, right? Or like spiritual awakening, soul awakening, that kind of thing. So as long as you continue to pursue those interests and what feels just like impactful for you, for example, deepening your connection to the angels, for example, right? And you just continue to pursue that and explore that. It's trusting that in the pursuit of what calls to you, what your truth is in this moment of like, I really love this. I really love to explore this and explore that, that the actual mission and the impact and how it's supposed to come forward will be revealed to you you know but what I would say, what the other thing that's coming through right now as I'm just reading your comment is, instead of seeing your mission to be a healer, instead it's an identity that I am a healer. Like, all of us are healers in some shape or form, so I am a healer, and I get to now explore, and this gets to be revealed to me, in which way does my soul desire to be expressed in this world. Do you know what I mean? So instead, it's kind of like taking on the identity, like, I am, this is who I am. Just kind of like you would say, like, I'm Gabrielle. Like, that's my name, like that's just who I am. So in a similar way, it's like I'm a healer. But the way in which that comes through, or the way that you're going to be guided to express who you are, that gets to be revealed. That's a mystery right now, and that's okay. Do you see what I'm saying? So I hope that makes sense, the way that I explained that. Okay, let me see. Eve is saying, I'm a healer, I'm an alchemist and transmuter, and being called to show up and embody this truth to allow myself to be seen as my authentic self, pure love and light. Yes, claim it, Eve. I love that. Okay, Jenny has a question. I do, as my life moves forward, being led by my purpose, I feel this hold on me from my family. Any insight is greatly appreciated. Okay, so that's a really good question. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that because, we kind of live our life, let's say pre-awakening, pre-claiming our truth as, let's say, as someone who is meant to bring through healing in some way to the world, right? We created this life around us pre-awakening, and then we go through the awakening process. We see who we are, who we truly are. We want to show up in this way. And the challenge that family, especially in the case of family, that they can experience is that they're so used to you being a certain way that as you start to show up in a different, more authentic way, it can like shake things up for people because they're like, wait a second, like, who are you becoming? Like, what's going on here? Right. And it doesn't always necessarily, for some people, they like to stay in the comfort of what they know. And they like to stay in the comfort of like, this is how it's been. This is how it's always going to be. Like, I don't know about this change that's happening. So, so in a sense, so what I would suggest for you, I feel is hold on me from my family, is to first of all kind of look at what that means, like in the sense of, what do you feel that they're holding you to, or what are the expectations that they're holding you to, that you're like, I'm not that person anymore, right? Or what are the projections that they're putting on you, like getting clear on all of what that is from your perspective, and then looking at each one and saying, but is this something that's actually, because there's a dynamic where Sometimes it's our perception that that's what people expect, or sometimes all that's needed is a conversation, and a conversation that says, listen, like, I know that there's this expectation of XYZ, or there's this idea of me, being a certain way or being this person or whatever. But listen, like this, in looking at what is your actual truth around it. What is your actual truth around whatever that expectation or projection might be? And so then that's where you get to then look at, how do you bridge the gap? So like I said, sometimes it's going to be a conversation with people. Sometimes it's not a conversation. Sometimes it's declaring it for yourself. Sometimes it's simply a conversation between you and the divine, between you and God, between you and your higher self. Like sometimes it's just a conversation within yourself that says, I'm not doing that anymore, or this isn't aligned with me anymore, or whatever, and choosing how you're going to show up. And sometimes it's about showing up in that energy, and then they will like follow suit or get used to that new energy. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be for your discernment in terms of whether it requires a conversation or not. But regardless, it's about, first of all, getting clear for your own self, and then clarity with family. So let me know if that makes sense. Okay. Let me see here. You're welcome, Gabrielle. Yay. Okay, cool. All right. All right. So when it comes to, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's go deeper. Because there's a couple of things that I still want to share regarding our soul's calling. So, like I said, we are coming into a space right now where you're going to feel a greater nudge in terms of this calling, in terms of claiming who you are. And if you think back to your spiritual journey, your spiritual awakening, whether you've been on this path for 1 year, for 6 months, or for several years, I want you to think about how at the beginning, it's kind of like there's these little nudges and it's kind of quieter. And I've also just noticed this being, just kind of like looking at my own journey, that I would say really started in 2012, when I had like a health crisis that happened. But really my like big spiritual awakening happened in like 2015, 2016. And then, just continue from there. But what I've seen over this last decade is that the calling of the spirit, and the calling of the divine, and the calling of us into who we truly are, it's getting louder and louder and louder and louder. And in 2024, what I'm seeing for us is that it's going to get to a point where it's going to be hard for you to ignore it. It's going to be hard for you to ignore it. And so sometimes you'll find yourself almost like dancing around the what the idea is, because there'll be a part of you that's like, yeah, like I think that's what it is. I think that's who I'm meant to be. I think that's kind of like what my calling is, what my soul is calling me forward into. But I'm not exactly sure, but like maybe, you're kind of like dancing back and forth, like maybe it's this, maybe it's not. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it is. Sometimes I'm questioning and doubting it, right? Like, who has had that experience where you're like, yes, this is what it is. And then like 2 days later, like, wait a second, I don't know anymore. Was I right about that? Right? And you kind of go back and forth and you're questioning things. Yeah, Jenny was like, me. Yeah, me too. Me too. I can't even tell you how many times that's happened to me, where I was like, yeah, like this is what it is. And then 2 days later, I'm like, wait, what did I say again? Where was my confidence like 2 days ago? I don't know anymore. So the thing is about, kind of going back and forth like that, is that that's our soul and ego dancing with each other. Okay. When we are in that place, yes, I hear you guys, like Jenny, Gabrielle, Margaret, like I'm throwing my hand up there too. That's our ego and our soul dancing with each other, because the soul is like, yeah, like this is what it is. And then the ego's like, no, like, I don't know. We don't have all the proof yet. So I don't know if we can like fully say yes to this. So these energies are dancing with each other. And so the way that we get out of that dance, it's like one of those dances that you're like, I don't want to be dancing here anymore. Like someone save me, is the way that we get out of it is by leaning into faith, into the unseen, right? Into the faith. And I actually wrote a post about this yesterday where it's that uncertainty in the sense of like, okay, I have no idea. I don't actually know the next steps. I don't actually know where this is going exactly. I don't see the the whole path, but I'm leaning into faith. And in the leaning into the unknown, into the mystery, into the faith, that's where the certainty of the divine holds us. So the certainty of the divine is holding us when we choose to lean into faith. So the way that that looked like for me all the way back in 2016, beginning of 2017, this is like exactly like this timing of the year is almost to a T. Um, or actually not almost, it is to a T. 7, right? Yeah, 7 years ago. And what happened was that I felt the big push from behind me, almost like a kick in my butt, that was like, this is, you got to claim who you are. You've got to declare it and you got to say it. You got to say that you are a spiritual teacher. You got to say that you're a healer. You've got to claim it. You got to own it. You got to declare it, and not just to yourself, not just to like 3 friends, but to the world. And that was just my personal journey. Okay, I'm not saying that everyone has to go out there and like post on Facebook today, but maybe that's your call, that's what you're being called to do too. But for me, that's what it looked like. And so I could no longer dance around the idea of like, yeah, that's what I want to do, or this is what I want to do eventually, or maybe once I have enough experience and have like am like worthy, deemed myself worthy of this, then I can do it. It was like, no, this is who you are. And your worthiness was never in question. For every single one of you, your worthiness was never in question about whether or not you are worthy or good enough or have enough this or have enough that to be a healer or to be whoever you're being called to be. But what you will see in terms of the evolution of our soul's calling in 2024 is that you can no longer dance around it. And so going back to what I was saying, the way that we get out of it, out of this dance between the ego and and the soul, is to claim it, lean into that faith, surrounded by the certainty of the divine. And, in a way, it's take a risk, but really there's no risk because the divine is right there. But take a risk and claim the truth that you have been dancing around. Claim what it is that you were like, yeah, maybe, yes, no, I don't know. So for those of you, like I was saying earlier, in the 50% who are like, maybe, I'm not really sure yet, I dare you, or I invite you to claim for yourself whatever that might be. And maybe the term healer doesn't resonate as much. So that's fine. It doesn't have to be that. But whatever it is that you feel called towards, I dare you to claim it, to claim, speaker, author, musician, singer, artist, like, I don't know, whatever it is for you. And for those of you who are in the other 50% who are already like, yeah, I am a healer, I invite you to see what else desires to be claimed alongside that. What identity? So as an example, maybe you're a healer and you're in that place. I recently did a poll in my community, the Divine Pathfinders community, and in there, I did a poll to see like where are you at? What do you identify with? And about half of the group identified with being a healer and desiring to start a business. So if that was you, then one of the things that you can claim or lean into or kind of feel into is claiming this identity of I'm a healer and I'm an entrepreneur or business owner, however you want to call it. But it's leaning into claiming the identity of what you're growing into. And so that was a huge pivotal moment for me back in end of 2016. It was right on this cusp. It was right at the end of 2016 and the beginning of 2017 was when I changed my business, which at the time was nutrition health coaching. And right at the beginning of, I forget exactly what day it was, but it was definitely like the first week of January, maybe the second week, but I don't think so. I think it was the first week of January of 2017. When I went to my Facebook group of like 200 people, that was my audience back then. And I was like, listen, this is what's been going on, guys. And I shared them the story because up until that point, my spiritual journey and my connection with the angels and everything that I was exploring, it was personal. Like I was not sharing any of that online. So I went to my Facebook group, and I think I also did a video on my like personal Facebook page. And I was just like, listen, this is what's happening. I shared the story of just like my spiritual exploration and connecting with the angels and all that. And I said, so I'm claiming my truth as a spiritual teacher, as a spiritual mentor, and as a healer. And I started to call myself the angelic healer. And when I tell you that I was so terrified of like saying that, trust me, I was terrified. And the reason why is I distinctly remember journaling this. And by the way, we've been talking, I've seen comments, people talking about Jesus slash Yeshua. And I remember like he came through as I was journaling, and I was like, because I remember distinctly being like, I am so afraid of disappointing other people. I'm so afraid of not being able to live up to expectations. Like, what does it even mean to be a spiritual teacher and an angelic healer? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, this is crazy. What do you guys, what's happening? But I felt the feeling of I can't hide from this anymore. I can't avoid this anymore. And this very similar feeling that's coming through in 2024 for many, many, many of you, where it's going to be that energy of you can't avoid this anymore. You can't hide. You can't just like, yeah, I'm going to do it eventually. Like, don't worry, guys. I got this. I'm going to do it. You'll feel the divine being like, no, you're going to do it now. You have to claim it now. Because here's the thing, when you claim whatever that identity is for you as a healer or whatever else around that or beyond that wants to come through, what's going to happen is that you're going to grow into it. And that's where you kind of set the stage for yourself to allow yourself to actually become who you're meant to be. So if you don't identify yet as a healer, but you're like, maybe, I don't know, like, I'm not sure yet. I Deciding to lean into faith and to just claim it. And from the perspective too of what I shared at the beginning, where, you can kind of like feel into, okay, maybe it's not energy healing like Reiki or angelic frequencies or whatever, but maybe it's supporting the transmutation of energy in a different way. When you claim your identity as a healer, the way will be revealed to you. So when I claimed that for myself 7 years ago, I didn't actually have any idea what it was going to look like. I had no idea that I would become who I am today, as someone online that people find as a resource to connect with the angels, to connect with their truth, to connect with their power. I had no idea that I'd be coaching and mentoring, that I'd be teaching classes and like workshops and masterminds and just all these things that I've done up until this point. I had no idea that was even there. But I trusted that what I was being called towards and what I was being guided to claim, that it like I had to do it. And I can't even tell you, like I think back to that time and I'm like, that seems like such a crazy thing for me to do, to just all of a sudden be like, hey, listen, like this is what we're doing. But I remember just feeling so strongly that it was meant for me to do that. So this first part of what we are being nudged into in 2024 as healers is that we cannot avoid our calling anymore. We must claim it. We must step into it. This is who we are. Okay? So, that's going to be the first part. That's the first part. We're going to move on to part 2 right now. But let me just quickly see this here. Um let me see. Um Okay, so Monica's saying, will there be a point for humanity that they realize that they can heal themselves soon? Well, you see, the thing is that it is up to what I truly believe is that the more people who are on this awakening path, aka all of you guys here today, everyone here, everyone who's watching on the recording, the people who are on this path of awakening, as we show up in that energy of healing ourselves, showing up in our best potential, like our highest potential, who we are, like all of that, we're creating the frequency, the energetic template, so to speak, that supports the awakening for other people. But it requires us to show up in our light and to express our truth, because the more people that are showing up in their expression of their light and who they are and sharing their truth, that is going to somehow land in different people at different time points in different ways. That is how they're going to realize. But I don't believe that, humanity as a whole will just wake up one day and be like, "Oh yeah, like this is the thing." You know what I mean? Like, and I don't and that's what I feel in terms of our spiritual connection with the angels or just any divine beings, really. It's like the only way that they can really make a huge impact is through us. So the more of you, especially those of you who are called to work with angelic frequencies, with divine beings, if you're an ethereal healer, which by the way, if you have not seen my Instagram reels recently, part 1, part 2, part 3, about the different types of healers. If you are an ethereal healer and you feel called to like bring that frequency in, that is the most direct way that angels or the divine, like whatever divine beings, can have a direct impact for other people, because we are the bridge. We are the bridge between spirit and earth. We're the bridge between the two. So, angels can try and support someone, but if they're very unaware and they're just like have their blinders on and they're just so in the 3D world, like it's going to go unnoticed. But if I say something to someone who has the blinders on, but like I'm here in flesh, human form, and I say something to them that was from the angel or was from the divine, and I say it like from me, that might actually catch their attention, because it's no longer like I'm not even aware of what's going on spiritually. They're like, oh yeah, you're like a human, a real human. And something might land. It might be a seed that gets planted in them, which will grow and develop, and then maybe eventually, you know what I mean? So like never underestimate the power of of your light and what you have to share with others. Okay. So let's see. Oh my gosh, Lisa, I would love to share, but we're going to keep going right now because there's other things that I want to cover and we're running out of time. Um but but soon. Or also, if you are not in the Divine Pathfinders community, make sure that you join there. Um, we'll be doing some guidance sessions in there soon. Okay, so if you need the link, let us know. Or if you're in there already, Lisa, let me know. Okay. Um do do do. I'm just reading through comments. Okay. To Lacey, I love you. You're a total boss for publicly stating your identity as an angelic healer. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, like, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. But it was the only way. I had to do it. Yay, Eve. I'm so glad this is resonating with you. I was a combination of ethereal and earth healer. Yes, Monkey. I love it. Was this your personal Facebook account you announced it on? So it was my personal, I'm pretty sure it was my personal Facebook account. Yeah. That was just like friends from like high school and just like random people. But yeah, because I didn't have my Facebook page yet. I don't think. I don't think so. I don't remember, but I don't think so. So yeah, need the link, please. Okay, cool. Larissa, if you're on here, can you send the link to the community group, please? And thank you. You just lifted my blinders. Yay, Gabrielle. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Yay, I'm going to do it. Yes, Karen. Yes, do it. Do it. Do it. Okay. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. So let me see. Where are we at? Okay. So let's keep going with the development of our intuitive abilities. Because I know that if you are here, if you're listening to this, there's some part of you that's like, yeah, I'm either aware of my intuition, have felt energy, have some sort of awareness that there is so much more than what physically meets the eye, right? Am I right? Like raise your hand if you're here. Say yes in the chat if you believe that you have intuitive abilities or that you are connected to your intuition in some way. And I'll give you spoiler alert that we all are intuitive. So whether or not you're aware of it, we are all intuitive. There's a level of intuition that's there. And the thing is that it's going to look different for everybody. Yes, 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 yes. Everyone's saying yes. Yes. It's going to look different for everyone, but it's there on some level. It is there. Okay. What I see for 2024 for us, for healers, for people who are on the spiritual path, is that your intuitive abilities are going to get stronger. And the way that I was shown this, the way that they showed this to me it's because the veil, the so-called veil, is getting thinner. Thin veil. And what, like, if you've ever heard that term, the veil is getting thinner, whatever, what does it actually mean? What it means is that it's almost like there's this, I don't know, I guess barrier is the best way to call it. This like kind of barrier that is dependent on the state of consciousness of the world. And so if you think back to like even just a few decades ago, the overall state of consciousness in the world was in a different place than it is today. And the reason why is because people are awakening. There's more and more people on the planet who are actually like calling in and making a direct contact with the divine. So the thing is that we have our free will. So the divine is is basically, going to just be there and support us, but it's not going to interfere. It's not going to, I don't want to even say interfere. It's not going to like push itself into our life if we're not directly inviting it in because it respects our free will. So, the more of us that are the more humans that are calling and praying to the angels, calling on God, calling on Jesus or Yeshua, are, calling in these spiritual energies to support us and guide us and, surround us with divine love. The more that we are awakening to this idea and this fact that divine love is there and that we come from this place, the veil gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And so it takes, many, many years for that to happen. However, we are also right now going through a massive transition. And this is why I also believe that now it's like more and more and more are awakening, because over these next few years, you will see, and this is why I titled this 2024 and beyond, there's going to be a lot of changes that are happening in the world as a collective. That's just what it is. Like the systems are crumbling. The old paradigms are crumbling. We're seeing it right now before our eyes. How, there's a lot of things going on with regards to governments, with regards to systems, with regards to so many different issues in the world. And it's crumbling. And the way in which we're meant to be moving forward is through a new paradigm. It's not going back and fixing what's broken or whatever. It's beyond that. It's beyond repair. We are in a place where we're like, let's bring in this new way of being. And so this is why, again, there's so much of this awakening, this calling forward that's happening, because we are here to usher in a new way. We are here as leaders of this new paradigm. And so going back to what we talked about, the term healer, and it kind of actually answers also the question that came through around like, is humanity going to wake up to their healing abilities? It's this fact that the more that we are in tune and aligned with our intuition, with connecting with the divine, with bringing in these spiritual energies and these divine frequencies into the world and into, whatever form of expression that it desires, that it's meant to come through us. And again, it's going to be so different for each person. So my form of expression of the divine is through my speaking, and it's through my writing. That's just the way. But for others, it might be through their art, it might be through their music, it might be through whatever other way that they feel called to bring through that expression into the world, that then people receive and they feel it. And boom, again, back to what we said at the beginning, the transformation of energy, the transmutation of energy, right? Healer. Okay. So because the veil is getting thinner, our intuitive abilities are going to be much more in our face. They're going to get stronger. And this is why it's going to be important for us to pay attention and understand and develop ourselves to know how to use them. Because the thing is, and tell me, for those of you, like, raise your hand if you're an empath, and raise your hand if you've been in a situation or had an experience where you like just felt so overwhelmed by energy, by, just, or people, or just whatever kind of experience where you're like, "Oh my gosh, like I really am seeing and recognizing that I'm super, super sensitive." Or that yes, like everyone's like, "Yep, yep, yep, yep." You know, me too. Just recently the other day, I had an experience where I was like, "Whoa," like I was in a big crowd of people and I was just like, um, I don't know that if I got more sensitive or if it's just that I'm more aware of my sensitivity. But it's definitely this awareness of sensitivity. Yes, empath in the house. Yes, empath, empath. Yes. So many of you resonate with this. And so it's important to, and I know, and I feel like sometimes there's this narrative that being empathic or being sensitive is like a downfall, or that it could be hard, or like whatever, right? And but the key is actually being empowered in that, being empowered in your sensitivity, and being empowered in the fact that you are so aware of energy. And so being aware on how to develop that in a way where it doesn't overwhelm you, but instead you use it as your superpower. And this is the same thing that goes for just in general, this knowing that when we are, the more that we're sensitive or aware of energies, aware of people, how they're feeling, their experience, like all of that, that actually makes you so much more in line with your intuition, and knowing, especially if you're in a space where you're working with someone or supporting someone through something, where you will know what they need versus just like throwing whatever at them, like, here, just try this. You're actually you're more sensitive to what is going to work or what's not going to work for someone you know and that's a huge thing that I teach people when it comes to channeling the angels, because, we all know Archangel Raphael. What is he associated with? We're going to do a pop quiz right now. What is Archangel Raphael associated with? I'll give you the answer. Healing, right? Like, we think of like physical healing. Yes, Bob said it. Ding, 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 Bob. You were the first one to answer. Yes, healing, healing, healing. Yes, exactly. So when you think about, like, okay, Archangel Raphael, healing, someone's coming to you, you're like, well, they need healing. Yeah, healing of the heart chakra. Exactly. Your logical mind might say, oh, well, we need to call on Archangel Raphael. But the truth is that maybe Archangel Sandalphon is the one who comes forward. And to your logical mind, it might not make sense, but energetically, it's exactly what that person needs. I can't even tell you how many times that has happened to me in sessions. And at the beginning, when I first started this, I would doubt myself. I'd be like, why is that angel coming forward? Doesn't make sense. Like, shouldn't it be Archangel so and so? You know, but the truth is that whoever is coming forward, your intuition is always going to pick up on exactly what that person needs. And when I've gone with that flow and trusted, at the end, people are always like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I needed. And that's all I needed to know, to be like, okay, cool. Like, you guys know what's going on. You guys know what that person needs. You know more than I do. And I'll admit to that. I'll admit that I don't always necessarily know what people need. So that's the important part to understand, is that in the development of your intuitive abilities, and in the connection or awareness of your sensitivity to others, to spirit, to the divine, all of those things, that you're actually connecting much more clearly to what people actually need. And that's going to support you in your role in whatever way that you're here to show up and you're here to communicate. It's going to support you on a much deeper level. Okay. Okay. So let's move on. Let me just do something real quick here. Um, Hold on a second. Okay. So Third one. Third one. Let me just actually real quick see some comments here. Oh, yeah, Karen, just look at '70s movies. People are so mean, it's so weird, it's not as believable anymore. Yeah, it's true. It's a whole different like, there's a whole shift in consciousness that's happening, and you can see it also in the younger generations. Oh my gosh, Bob, I love that so much. Okay. I'm aware of my abilities to heal others. My issue is healing myself, and I have not found any physical friends. Maybe through finding a way of helping others, this will help my healing slash gain true friends. Yeah, and also, you know what I really love is online communities like this, right? Like this YouTube community or the Divine Pathfinders community. It is something where when we, connect with people online, because at the end of the day, online has so much greater reach, right? Like we can connect with people from all over the world. And through that, sometimes you'd be surprised at how you can come across people who are actually local to you, So I would set the intention to, and you maybe already have, but like setting the intention to meet and connect with people who are local or who are around you, or that eventually you can meet with them, or eventually if you travel to see, or to a retreat or whatever kind of experience, then you will find those people because I know that they're there. I know that they're around you. Okay, let me see here. Do do do. Um, yeah, some spiritual shops have events where you can learn and be among like-minded people. Yes. Yes, I love that. Yep. Okay, there we go. I posted the link to the community, by the way, 'cause I saw that it wasn't in there. Okay. All right, guys, who is ready for number 3? Number 3, the third thing that I see, and this is about the opportunities. The opportunities that I see coming in 2024 and beyond. And so, as you can see, because of how things are shifting and energetically there is a shift that's happening. Energetically, we are being called forward. Energetically, we are being nudged where, like I said, we can't avoid anymore what is there in front of us. And so the opportunities that are await us are increasing. And when I say opportunities, I mean things like what we were just discussing, opportunities to connect with other people, right? Like in-person things, the opportunities to impact other people, the opportunities for your career to really move in a trajectory and into an alignment that is there to fulfill your soul, right? That fulfills your soul and that fulfills this deep desire to be of service to others or to support other people, right? There's a huge increase in opportunities that are happening, and it's important to remember that as we follow the path that what we're being called towards, as we follow the path that really sparks our interest and that inspires us and that we feel kind of like drawing us forward, that everything around us, like as we say yes to that. So it's very similar to what I talked about 7 years ago. What happened to me 7 years ago when I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna say yes to this. I'm leaning into faith. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm saying that I'm an angelic healer because that's what I know deep down in my heart is my truth, and I'm claiming it." That saying yes, literally, like, everything around us starts to shift, and, it's almost like all the pieces either move out, new pieces come in, or that piece moves over here. It's just like everything shifts to support that. And I can't even tell you, like, my life between 2017 to 2019 very quickly, rapidly changed, like a whole, and even beyond that, but like those 2 years, that 2-year period from when I claimed my truth as a healer and like pursued this path and I was like, this is what I'm doing, to that, like, end of 2019, we'll say. But even beyond that, it's continued to change. But whatever. that was like major, 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 major changes. Okay. I went from I was working a corporate job at the time. So I was working in like the science field. Okay. Totally different than what I do now. But I have a major in biochemistry. I'm like a science nerd. There's a part of me that's like that science nerd at heart. Okay. So I was working in the science field for the government of Canada. I lived in Canada. I was in a different relationship. Okay. By the end of 2017, it was like November 2017, I quit my job. So at like in November, I started to do this full time. So within 10 months, I was doing this work full time. I then left the relationship that I was in because it was not aligned to me and who I am. And I started to travel. And I started to travel and I landed in California. So by end of 2018, I was in California. And then in 2019, I met who is my husband now. And by, well, we'll just call it till beginning of 2020. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, beginning of 2020. I found out that I was pregnant with my first daughter. And I'm living in California and I'm about to be a mom. And just like all these things shifted, all while I'm showing up in my true self and continuing to grow who I am in the way that you guys know me online through my work, through my different courses and teachings and one-on-one coaching and like all the stuff that I do now. So all of that shifted dramatically because I pursued the path of my calling. And I'm not saying that everyone's path is going to be like huge dramatic shift. Maybe, maybe not. But the point is that all the pieces around you will change and shift and like just align to support your evolution, to support your growth, to support who you are here to be, which means that the people, the circumstances, the environments, everything, the opportunities are there. The opportunities are ripe. The opportunities are ready to be claimed and ready to be received. But it starts with you saying yes, right? So this goes back to the first thing that we talked about. It's saying yes, which leads to all of this. Okay, it leads to this whole entire evolution and process that will honestly, like if I could describe it in one word, it's almost like a catapult. It catapults you into your truth, your desires, who you're here to be. And that will continue to evolve and it will continue to grow. And that's just a natural part of the process. It's a natural part of who you are. Okay. Okay. So let me see here. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions. I am catching up on comments here. Oh, okay. Willow Love, Tammy. Yes, I love that. Okay. I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. I love that community because I feel like we get to connect with each other on a deeper level. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. Um, when you choose a career such as healing that changes people's lives for the better, you cannot help but change your own life. A possibility of change for you is gaining friendships. Yes, I love that. I know, yeah. I was in the science corporate world. Mm, yes, it is time and I'm ready. I love that. And that's exactly it. Sometimes we're just not ready. Sometimes we're just not ready. But 2024 is going to be a year that for a lot of people, you're going to know and you're going to feel that you're ready. For a lot of people, your 2024 is going to feel like my 2017 felt for me. Like that whole journey and that whole like shift and change and everything. 2024 is a catapult. And it almost feels like there's a layer, like a cycle almost, so yeah, it's continuous because we have to think about our journeys too. It's always going to evolve. It's always going to shift. There's always a next evolution, and it's about us claiming it. Yes, I love that. Jenny's saying I'm ready. Okay. Definitely have noticed that shift once I accepted that I cannot control my destiny. Yeah. I changed it on here as my ex stalks me. Oh my gosh. Yes, that's a good call. Oh, lace. Okay. DeLacy, lace. That's so awesome. I love this. You guys are so awesome. Aw, thank you, Eve. Okay. You are so welcome, Karen. I'm so, so happy. So happy. Okay, so as a recap in terms of everything that we talked about, you know, going from understanding the broader perspective and the higher perspective around what it means to be a healer, leaning into what that might feel like for you to claim that truth for yourself or the next whatever evolution of that truth for you, depending on where you're at when you came in here, whether you were like not sure about healer or you were already sure about being a healer, whatever that next step is for you, claiming it. And then from there, understanding that your soul's calling, knocking at the door very loud. And rather than dancing with the ego and the soul, like being in that dance, we're going to kick the ego out. We're not dancing with you anymore. I'm claiming it. And the way that you claim this, like I said, it's not just like, okay, I'm going to claim it. It's like surrounding yourself with the energy of the faith and the certainty of the divine. Remember, the divine is already certain. The divine already knows. The divine trusts and knows you so much. And so when we lean into knowing and the love and the support of the divine, that's what's going to carry us. That's what's going to carry us into where we're meant to go. Okay. Your intuitive abilities are going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger this year. So focusing on developing them and understanding how to use them in a way that's going to empower you rather than make you feel like either, overwhelmed or like there's too much or ungrounded or not safe or whatever. So the development of your ability is going to be huge this coming year. And then knowing that the opportunities are waiting for you, that there's more and more and more opportunities that are happening. And as I can see, even just today, our conversation today, there's more and more and more of you that are ready for this, that are ready to claim it. You're claiming it now. And I love it so much. And I'm claiming it with you. I'm claiming it for all of us. And that it's knowing that we're ready for it. We're ready and the world is ready. The world is ready for this. And that is an important part of this as well. Okay. Karen, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that this was high vibe inspiration, especially if you were feeling not so great today, which happens. And this is a great example of that healer energy and that healer frequency. And for me to be able to hold a space and for you to be in a space of receiving, and that I didn't specifically call on the angels and ask for this or that or whatever, but I did have a prayer. I did say a prayer before this call, and I said, I call on the divine, call on God, the angel, and I just said, let me be a channel for whatever it is that wants to be shared today, and for whatever the energy that wants to be received or that needs to be received by others today. So I'm glad that you received that and that I was able to hold a space for you in that. Okay, Bob is saying I had a major final closure to a bad relationship that I ended in October on Saturday night. Energy was releasing from my head and face prior to that and the following day. So it like whenever we're going through a major, whatever kind of breakup or just any closure, like you said, then it's simply, like we feel the release in different ways. So what I feel is that it's simply just like whatever was held in this chakra area, in like the throat chakra or the third eye chakra, it's cleansing it out, releasing it out, and we just hold energy in different places. Um, let's see. Claudia's saying I had a karmic disconnect done with a healer to escape toxic family of origin. It really works. I love that so much. That's so, so good. Okay, so the last thing that I want to share with you guys, because we're coming to the end of this time together, and also what I've created and made available for everyone, whoever feels called to this, who is ready to take this next step, the people who are like, okay, yes, like I'm ready to see where this identity as a healer takes me. And that's called the healer's bundle. You may have heard me talk about it, maybe you haven't. So if you haven't, then I would definitely listen and see, for you to hear what is in this and who it's for, to see if this is for you, to see if this is what you feel called towards to support you in this next evolution. So the healer's bundle is essentially about awakening that inner healer inside of you. And this isn't necessarily a bundle or a set of programs, because essentially it's a bundle because there's a bunch of courses that are together to support you in your path as a healer. It's not necessarily specific to like healer as a business or healer, or like maybe I'm a healer, maybe I'm not. It basically meets you wherever you're at. So if you're someone who, through this conversation, you're like, okay, I can see and feel how my soul is being called to deepening the spiritual connection and deepening my awakening of who I am and discovering the inner healer inside of me, this is going to be perfect for you, because it walks you through the process of truly seeing and recognizing yourself in this identity. And it goes on to support you with developing your abilities and developing your connection and helping you to feel the angels and helping you to feel your guides, and helping you to understand how everything fits in together for you specifically on your path. So what's included in the healer's bundle is becoming a healer, which is the course where we answer the question, what kind of a healer are you? What is the next steps on your path? How are you meant to evolve in this identity as a healer? Then it moves on to the angelic evolution. That's the course where I teach you specifically the connection with the angels and helping you to develop your ability to channel, to connect with them, to receive messages from them, to understand your guardian angels, the archangels, healing frequencies, like everything that has to do with angelic. Like if you're really interested in how the angelic frequency, the angelic realm works with this, that's going to be the other part that fits that in, the next puzzle piece, so to speak. And then after that, there's the healer's toolbox. The healer's toolbox is about developing and strengthening your abilities, your intuitive abilities, how you channel, how you connect, being able to really get confident in your ability to, let's say, cleanse your chakras and support your aura and support all the things within you, you as the channel, you as the being, so that you don't get overwhelmed by energy, so that you know how to clear energy out, you know how to not take things on from other people. And just like, it's like at the end of the day, you don't want to have to spend every single day removing everything that you took on from others. It's better to just not take it on in the first place, right? So I teach you a whole bunch of tools inside of the healer's toolbox that supports your development of your abilities. And then finally, the last thing is called the Angels Guild Collection. And that is where we kind of bring together the guidance and teachings from the angels and how that fits into just our overall life and journey and path as an awakened soul. So if you think about yourself as someone who is pursuing the path of manifesting, creating the life that you desire, of potentially wanting to step into leadership roles, in general, developing your confidence as a person, as who you are, looking into, your soul's identity and your truth and how to claim that, the expression of your soul. Like we covered the teachings inside of the Angels Guild collection were taught over the whole year, and you get access to the whole library. And that's why that fourth one I call a resource library more so than a course, because that is something where it's there as a resource for you to tap into. So if you're like, you wake up one day and you're like, I just need like really powerful like healing right now because I feel so disconnected, or maybe you're aware of inner child stuff, you go to the inner child healing and you're like, I'm going to listen to that. Or one day you wake up and you're like, I really want to just kind of lean into my leadership and who I am as a leader. Go to the teaching. There's a whole bunch of teachings, like literally over a whole year. You can imagine how much content there might be. And, those are just a couple examples. So this is the Healer's Bundle. It's available for only a couple more days. And I'm really excited to offer this to you for anyone who is here right now on this path who is like, I'm ready to awaken to my inner healer. I'm ready to understand how to work with the angels, how to work with the divine, how to align with my divine spiritual truth, to develop your abilities, to really just be in a place where you embody who you are. You are the light. And to remember that you are the light, to hold that light and to walk that light, and to understand that even when you have the dark, hard days, because we all do, that it's an understanding that that does not take away from the light of who you are. And that's what I feel like this work in the development and like the teachings, it really anchors that into you where you get to be human. You get to be human. We embrace humanity over here, right? We get to be human in the darkest experiences, in the darkest, moments. And at the same time, it's a deep knowing and remembrance that it doesn't take away from the light of who I am. I can be in this moment, I can go through this experience, but it doesn't take away from who I truly am. And so going through these teachings, going through this work, going through the practices, everything that I teach you, it really, I don't want to say drills it into your head, but it drills you into your head, drills it into your head. You know what I mean? It's like that really is something that gets anchored into your truth. And that's also part of what makes sure that you do not, fall off the path, so to speak. And like I said, it's okay to have the days where you feel a certain way, where you're like, "Ugh, I don't even want to show up. I don't want to do these things. Like, I don't even know anymore." And yet you keep going. You keep going and you wake up the next day and you're like, I'm going to keep going. Like God woke me up today. I'm still here. I have a mission, or I'm here to show up in a certain way, or I know that I'm here to be a light in whatever specific way, whether it's simply being a light for that one person that you talked to today, or because you are speaking to thousands of people. That's besides the point. The point is that if you are here right now, you are living through this time, it means that who you are, your light, your truth as a being is needed in the world. It is necessary. You are meant to bring that through here. And so the healer's bundle walks you through that to understand how that's meant to show up for you, whether it's, simply in your everyday life, in your career as a scientist or as a lawyer or whatever, right? Or it's because you see and feel like you're meant to take the path to a different level. Okay. So this is for anyone who is on this path and specifically wanting to develop that part of them. Okay. So like I said, it's wherever it meets you, wherever you're at. It meets you wherever you're at. So I'm going to post the link to that in the chat. The doors close on January 4th. So we have 3 days left. Today, tomorrow, Thursday. Doors are closing. The link is there. If you have any questions at all, you can always reach out to me. Let me know. Um, but yes, I cannot wait. And if you're joining me inside of the Healers Bundle, let me know. And just an FYI, because I know it's not super obvious, but if you are someone who's like, I really need support through a payment plan, there's a payment plan at the very bottom. So 3 months payment plan. Like, you've got this. If you need that, take advantage of that. Okay. Oh, and by the way, did I tell you that the Archangel Oracle card deck is a bonus for that? Yes, it is a bonus when you sign up. Okay, I don't know how to whatever. I guess we won't do that. I was going to pin the comment, but can't do that. That's okay. I'm going to have it in the description below this video if you're watching me on the replay. Okay. Let me see. Okay, it's time for me to go. Okay, so Monica asked a great question. Has the cleansing slash clearing process for healers also changed in this new energy? No, it has not. It has not. What I feel instead, like the process itself hasn't changed, but it's actually become more efficient. What I see is it becoming more efficient, and what I feel is it being more efficient. So it's more efficient, but the process itself is still the same. Okay. I use a pendulum to gain communication with my guardian angels. I love that. I can't do it right now, but it is on my radar. Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. It will definitely be there as a resource for whenever you're ready. Okay. Let's see. I'm just quickly reading through. You have truly been my mentor since 2019. You're truly blessed at all you do. Aw, Dean, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You're welcome, Gabrielle. I'm so grateful to work with you. Working with Christina is truly a divine life expanding experience. Ah, Jenny, you're amazing. Um, Thursday is the last day. Thursday is the last day. January 4th. Okay. Yay, you're welcome. Is there a community? Yes. So if you are in So if you join the Divine Pathfinders community, which is on Mighty Networks, all the courses are in Mighty Networks. All my courses now are in Mighty Networks. And so when you sign up for a course, there is a community space. So yes, you get to interact with other people, students, all the things. And I'm going to be in there. And I'm going to be coming into the Healers Bundle community specifically. So it's not specific to like one of the individual courses. So you might have some people might have one of the individual classes. You have to get the whole entire healers bundle to gain access to the things that we're going to be doing as a community. But yes, the answer is yes. Yeah. So okay, cool. Awesome. Yay. I'm so excited. Okay. The healers bundle link in the chat, or if you're watching me on the replay, it is going to be in the description below this video. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I am sending you all so much love, so many angel blessings. Happy 2024. I will see you all very, very soon. And also make sure you come join me inside of the Divine Pathfinders community. And I'll have that link below the description as well. Okay. I love you all. Have an amazing rest of your day. And I will see you very soon. Bye.